Doing? This will be our first lesson officially. So I want to show you a book right quick, and if you can buy this book, it would be very helpful. It's called Basic Drumming. I figure if we use this book together, it doesn't matter how far I am away, I can use the same book, do lessons out of it, and you can have it there with you. I don't know your history of reading music, if you know how to read music or not, but you know this will be pretty helpful if we can use this together. That way you've got it there in front of you. For today, I'm just going to send you a picture of this page, and this is the revised edition. If you can find the revised edition on Amazon or something. I did notice today that the used versions on Amazon were more expensive than the new ones. I don't know why that is, except for the fact that this might be one of the best drum books ever made. So obviously people are proud of them because they're selling them for almost triple on a used price than they are on brand new. That doesn't make any sense. But anyway, so this is the revised edition. If you can get a hold of the revised edition, we're going to be on page number 126. If you don't get the revised edition, you might wind up having this be page number 94. It's a weird thing, but it's two measure combinations, and you know, you told me that you wanted to work on fills and you hear things in your head but you can't execute them. Well, welcome to the world of drumming and music, because I hear things in my head all the time that I can't do, so you're not alone. But I think really the best thing to do is to start with some pretty foundational stuff. The absolute most important thing for you and me and any other drummer to be able to do is to, number one, keep good time, to not speed up or slow down. Primarily, that is our main job. Number two, as a church drummer especially, you have to be very, you got to be able to play a lot of different varieties of music, and you have to be able to play a variety of grooves and patterns. And so, as a church drummer, I think it's more important than the fills is to be able to play different bass drum patterns with a basic hi-hat and snare pattern going along with that. For example, I can play eighth notes on the hi-hat, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and those are eighth notes. There's 8 of them in a measure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One of those is 1/8, obviously, of the 8, so they call them eighth notes. It's pretty simple. So we're going to do some eighth note bass drum patterns, and on page number 126 of this book, I will send, like I said, I'll send you the picture of the page so you can have it in front of you. Line number 1 has a very basic bass drum pattern, and it's a 2-measure pattern. So it's gonna, you'll count to 8. If you count quarter notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or you can count to 4 twice, which technically is the right way to do it. But there's 8 beats, and so this is gonna last 8 beats. All right. So line number 1, bass drum pattern on line number 1 should sound like this. Now I played through that 4 times. If you might have been thinking, we counted to 8 a long time ago. Yeah, we actually counted to 8 4 times. I played through that set 4 times. Now, you can take this same exercise and you can apply some different skills to it. For example, as a drummer, 4-limb independence. Being able to use all 4 limbs is really important. So you can take that same pattern. You can now move your right hand over to your ride cymbal, and you can play quarter notes with your left foot, which just means you're going to keep the beat with your left foot. All right? So now we're adding that 4th limb. It's a little bit harder. I would highly suggest, rather than jumping into line 1 of your bass drum, start working on your left foot keeping quarter notes with just a basic rock beat. And this would be considered the most basic, would just be bass drum on 1 and 3, snare on 2 and 4. That's the most basic thing we can do. So if I take my right hand and put it on the cymbal and play that same pattern, now I incorporate my left foot into it just to work on my coordination, work on my independence to be able to do different things, okay? So I'm going to keep quarter notes on the hi-hat and 1 and 3 on the bass drum, 2 and 4 on the snare, and it sounds like this. Now the sound on this video might not be very good, but you'll have to trust me that on all those downbeats of 1, 2, 3, and 4, you should have heard. Okay? Now, we can leave that same foot pattern and do that quarter note thing, and we can do whatever we want with our right foot. We can go into the more common bass drum pattern in rock music, which, I don't know, don't tell anybody this, especially my mom. Church music is built off of rock and roll drums. So just keep that between us, but this is rock. Okay, quarter notes on the hi-hat. All right, so going back to the book, line number 1. Line number 1, I've done. Line number 2 should sound like this. Okay? Line number 3. Line number 4. All right, line number 5. Okay, line number 6. Line number 7. Line number 8. Line number 9. Lastly, line number 10. Okay, now just to give you a little bit of information here, like I said, I don't know your background musically, so let me explain something with you, just in case you aren't familiar with it. Music has what we call downbeats and upbeats. Okay. A downbeat, if you keep, this is the way it was taught to me. If I'm keeping the beat on my bass drum and I'm playing all of the quarter notes, those are all downbeats, okay? The easiest way to explain it is when my foot's coming up, that's an upbeat. Halfway between every downbeat is an upbeat, exactly halfway, okay? So if I'll play the upbeats on my snare just so you can feel and hear where they are, the downbeats on the bass drum, upbeats on the chord, on the snare. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 2. So if I say, or if somebody says, do something on the end of 3, that simply means when we get 1, 2, 3, that's the upbeat, the end of 3. So terminology and being able to communicate that way is going to be important. On this page, the majority of this is bass drums played on the upbeat. An example of that would be, the easiest way to identify is number 9. With the exception of that first bass drum lick, which is on the downbeat of 1, the rest of those are all on upbeats. Okay? End of 2, end of 3, end of 4. The next measure, end of 1, end of 2, end of 3, end of 4. It sounded like this. And 1. And 1. Those are all upbeat. So this whole page, there's your 8th note based bass drum patterns. So I want you to work on this. Let me know if it's challenging. Let me know if it's too easy. Let me know if it's really difficult. Kind of give me some feedback. And like I said, let's say you jump into this thing and you're like, yeah, I can do all that. That's not hard. Okay? Well, then let's make it hard. Let's find something to do to make it hard. So then let's go to the left foot. So I'm going to play lines 1 through 5. No repeats. Lines 1 through 5. Left foot just keeping quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, like I said, there's ways to make simple things hard. We just add an element to it. So let me know how you do with this, and we'll make it harder if we need to make it harder. I definitely want to focus on things that'll make you good playing praise and worship. Okay, there is an art to praise and worship. You can take drummers out of any bar that can play any sort of music, and then you put them in church, and they're lost. Because it's its own thing. And so I want to try to help you become good at playing worship music, because it is its own thing, and there are ways to really botch it up, and good worship drummers definitely stand out when put in that situation compared against other drummers that aren't used to playing worship. It's just different, okay? And you'll probably understand that a little bit, but we'll figure it out as we go along. But I'm going to teach you things that will make you a better church drummer, make you a better praise and worship drummer, because there's definitely a lot of patterns that are very widely used in church, very widely used. So we're going to focus on those things that you'll make use of and try to get you as good as we can at those things. Okay? So let me know how you do with this, and we'll see what happens. So I'll see you later.